always at the gas station. Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about my Sportster 48, a 2017 Sportster 48. There's been a lot of changes from the stock, and I'm super stoked to talk about some of the changes that I've made. But really, for today, I wanted to talk about these drag bars. I wanted to talk about where I got them, installation, things that you might need to know. I've had it probably for about a month now, and I have some thoughts and some feelings about it. So wanted to share that with you all. Also, happy 4th of July. These are my July 4th gloves. Cool, let's get going. Hopefully wherever you are, you're enjoying yourself on this July 4th weekend. Eating some burgers and hot dogs, doing all the American things, and showing your patriotism. So obviously I am going for a lean bobber look. I'm definitely prioritizing looks over comfort, because I have the Lowrider S for comfort, and I want this bike to just look good. I don't really mind if it's not the most comfortable bike. I just want this bike to look good. That's it. So I've done a lot of things in that vein. When I first got the 48, I knew immediately what look I was going to go for, which is that drag bar with like the gauge relocation and all that good stuff. At some point we'll get off the bike and just, you know, see all the things that I've done to the bike so far. This is my first time getting drag bars on a Sportster. The other Sportster that I used to have, I had those Z bars. I think they had about maybe a 4 or 6 inch rise, so it stood me up a little bit more upright. And this one leans you all the way down, which is very, very different. So there's pros and cons for both. And so with these drag bars, I actually found them on Amazon for about $40, believe it or not. Yeah, I looked at all the reviews. The reviews were very, very positive for these drag bars. And for $40, you know what? If it doesn't work out, you can always get something different later on. So very low risk. So I decided to pull the trigger on them. Installation, very straightforward. If you don't know how to do installation of Harley bars or Harley Davidson bars, you know, there's plenty of YouTube videos that talk about them. Blockhead would be my go-to reference for that. But yeah, for $40, pretty solid. I can't find too much to complain about, considering that they're $40, but I will say they do scratch very, very easily. Like all along the side here, you can see scratches and whatnot. You're gonna get the look, but the quality is probably, you know, not the best. The other thing that I didn't quite like about these drag bars are these little dimples that come all the way beyond the controls. So that's one thing that I also didn't like. But other than that, I think it's a pretty solid buy. Pretty solid buy. So like I said, installation is very straightforward. However, there are some hiccups that I noticed. I think this might be different for a Iron 883 or Iron 1200 versus a 48. They could be the same, I'm not sure. But a few things that I've noticed when installing them, I had to relocate or remove my turn signals, because the turn signals would not squeeze along with the brake reservoir here. Fit on the clutch side, but not so much on the brake side. So I did get something different for my turn signals, which was kind of a bummer. As I was doing it, I just didn't know. Nobody mentioned anything in the reviews about them, so I had no idea, and didn't notice it until I got to the point of getting these handlebars on and trying to put back all the controls, and just noticed that there wasn't any space to put the turn signals. So issue number one. The other issue is, you know, once I had them on, because they're so low, it basically renders my mirrors pretty useless. Right now when I'm looking, I just see like my knees and my pocket. If you like using your mirrors, drag bars might not be for you. And also I have these black fork covers. Because the drag bars are so low to the forks, these fork covers did not fit. The Sportster 48 fork cover top up here is like chrome or aluminum, and I wanted to black them out, so I bought these covers, and the drag bars, just there wasn't any clearance. So what I had to do was buy like 1-inch risers, which lifted the drag bars up a little bit, and then I had clearance to put these 4 covers on. So 3 issues that I've had with these drag bars. I get one thing on and then something goes wrong, and then you have to figure something else out. But I think in general that's how life seems to work. So once I had everything fitted and everything was good to go, I was really able to test out these drag bars. I knew just from doing a little bit of research that drag bars could potentially be less comfortable than your stock handlebars, because your stock handlebars has a little bit of a pullback and a rise. I think about 2 inches, but these are just flat. Right from the get-go, I am way more hunched over. So obviously the main thing is like the comfort is reduced, or whatever comfort that you might have had on a Sportster 48. But like I mentioned earlier, I want this bike to look really good. At least, from my perspective, I was willing to compromise the comfort so that the bike can kind of look exactly the way I wanted it to. So I was fine with that. I knew that it was going to be a little bit less comfortable, but I just didn't know exactly to what extent. You're hunched over a lot more. And so after about, I want to say within like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I can feel the strain going all on my back, lower back. And then if I don't pull over to stretch or something like that, I can feel that pressure and that pain kind of going through to my hip area, to my left hip. So if I ride for about an hour, man, I am dying. So comfort, not the greatest thing. Although it may be different if you're a little bit taller and you have long arms and you don't have to lean over as much. But I am 5'8", or like a good handlebar position I think will be about like right here for me, where I'm not really doing anything, or I'm not exerting any energy. But I am hunched over all the way over here. And then with the 4 controls, you're like in this weird clam shape, like a V shape. So it's just not really all that comfortable. So keep that in mind. So I will say that's probably the biggest downside, just the lack of comfort over a period of like over an hour or so. But I will say there are some upsides to this. So some of the upsides to this, I feel like, when I'm cornering, when I'm cornering, there's just a lot more control, and just a lot more control over the bike in general, just because, you have a little bit more of a wider grip, you have more leverage on the bike. So the cornering, it feels really good. I'm not gonna lie, I think I can corner a lot easier. It feels more smooth and stable. So that is definitely a huge benefit. The other benefit is because you are leaned over a lot more, the wind doesn't smack you on your chest and on your face as much. Because your center of gravity is just reduced and lowered by a little bit, make you a little less wind resistant, or less wind resistant. Let's pull over here. This seems like a safe spot. Is there any shade? So here she is. Like I mentioned, drag bars. I blacked out the 4 covers. I will do another review on that because that is a story in and of itself. Got the fork caps up here. Trying to block everything out. I did a review on the Baja Designs headlight. Love this thing. Turn signals, the big bulb ones are gone, and the other one is just right over here under the mirrors. These mirrors are pretty much useless now. Relocated the gauge to the side, which I very much quite like that look. I think that's pretty much it. I really like how it kind of sits flush with the tank, and you have this nice line, like this little triangle. I love that look. I also forgot to mention Arlen and Ness grips. I had these on my last Sportster. Just wanted to carry that over just as a little nod to my old Sportster. I also had this Viking Bags seat. Very nice seat. It's a work in progress, guys. That's my review of these Amazon drag bars. Would I recommend it? If you're on the fence and you want to try it out, it's a very low risk. It's like 40 bucks, like I said. The quality is up there. Like, I haven't had any issues with it, but I will say you might need some modifications, or you might need further modifications to your Sportster depending on what model you have. But yeah, that's my overall assessment of these Amazon drag bars. Comfort down, at least for me, comfort was down. And then you get a little bit more control of the bike, especially when you're cornering, and also reduced wind drag, which is kind of nice. Cool. Well, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Thanks for joining in, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.